everyone, and welcome to Intellipaat. A particular form of data management system called a data warehouse is intended to facilitate and support business intelligence activities, particularly analytics. Data warehouses frequently have a lot of historical data and are not only meant to be used for queries and analysis. A data warehouse typically uses a variety of sources, including transaction programs and application log files. Large volumes of data from many sources are centralized and consolidated in a data warehouse. Organizations can gain useful business insights from their data using its analytical skills to enhance decision making. It creates a historical record over time that data scientists and business analysts can use to their advantage. Let's now take a look at the agenda. Firstly, we have characteristics, after which we will see components of data warehouse, and lastly, applications of data warehouse.
But before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell icon so that you never miss any update from Intellipaat YouTube channel.
So what are the characteristics we are having for the data warehouse? You can see I'm having the characteristics of my data warehousing. I'm having the subject oriented, I'm having the integrated, I'm having the time variant, and also I'm having the non-volatile. These are the four different characteristics that I'm having for my data warehousing. So let me explain you each and everything what is here. First, we're having the subject oriented. It can be used to analyze a particular subject area. So it means it can be used to analyze a particular subject area. So in my data warehouse, I'll be having a different subject, right? Let's say I'll be having my employees, I can say employee numbers, I can have my sales data, I'll be having my technical team data, I'll be having a n number of different kinds of data are stored in the data warehousing here. If I want to extract only the particular thing, so particular thing is nothing but I have to check the like how many sales has been done in that particular month, so that I'm gonna retrieve only the one particular column. Okay, one particular column is nothing but I'm just gonna extract only the sales one. Okay, I'll be having a n number of data I'll be storing in the data warehouse. If I want to extract or if I want to analyze a thing only on one particular subject, okay, that is said to be a subject oriented. So in my data warehouse, this is possible. So instead of retrieving everything like whatever the data is required, so based on that particular data, you can retrieve or you can analyze the things. So again, we're having the integrated. What integrated is telling? Integrated is nothing but it integrates data from multiple data sources. So integrate is nothing but it is just combining the data from the different, like whatever the data or sources we are having is just gonna combine all the data. So that is also the, so we are just seen the subject oriented and the integrated. We are having the time variant. So what is time variant here? We'll be having the historical data. So historical data is kept in a data warehouse. So what is historical data? We'll be collecting the data from the past. Let's say if my company started in the year 2000, from that year to this year, so I'll be keeping the 22 years of the data. So that is said to be a time variant. Then we're having the non-volatile. So non-volatile is something but older data will not get deleted if we add new data. Okay, because each and every time we'll be having the n number of data, right? If we are adding n number of data, I don't want to lost my previous data. Even that should be stored, even the new one should be stored. So what are the data that I'm having, the everything should be stored in the data warehouse. Subject oriented is nothing but in my data warehouse. Let me explain you with the annotate. So let's say I'll be having the data warehouse. Okay, in my data warehouse, so in my data warehouse, I'll be having a small thing. I can tell this thing is said to be a data mart. Okay, the small stores. So I'll be having a small stores, or I can say I'll be having a data mart in my data warehouse. So in this here I'll be storing only the employee details. Here I'll be storing only the like a sales one. Here I'll be storing some of the details on the, let's say, holidays. In different data mart, there will be having a different fields. Okay, you can store anything because in your data warehousing, you have stored all the data in the same format, right? Let's say you're storing entire data in a SQL format. So each data will be stored it in a same format. So what is subject oriented? So in subject oriented, if I want to study only on that particular subject, okay, if I want to retrieve only data from the sales, so in my data warehouse I'll be having a different data, right? But I don't want to retrieve everything. I want to see only the things on the sales. So they're telling it can be used to analyze a particular subject area. So with the particular subject, I can make an analyze here. I can do the analyzation. So you will be having a different data marts in your data warehousing. So each data mart will be having some data regarding, let's say, if you're having the data in your employee thing, this is it to be your employee. If you're having the thing in a sales, if you're having something in some other format, you'll be having the things in the company, right? Data warehouse is literally very huge because if you're taking an example as a educational institute itself, so you'll be having the things, right? You'll be having the student name, student ID. For each thing, you'll be having a n different of columns. Actually, data warehouse is literally very vast. So you can store a very vast data in the data warehouse. So that is said to be subject oriented. If you want to extract only on the employee thing, okay, if you want to extract only on the employee thing, you can extract it. So that is said to be used to analyze a particular subject area. This is one particular subject area. I'm just want to analyze only on this particular thing. Okay, that is said to be subject oriented. So what is integrated? Integrated is nothing but it integrates data from multiple data sources. So when I was explaining the architecture, I showed you that we'll be having the data in different sources. Like I'll be having you can also call it as a source, or else you can also call it as a database. Okay guys, both are one and the same. Don't get confused. So integrated is nothing but I'll be having the different databases. Okay, different data source. So one is in the form of SQL, one data it is in the format of the Word document. So I'll be having this data in the HTML, I'll be having this data in the Excel. So these are the different data source, or I can tell it that these are the different databases that I'm having. So integrate is nothing but I'm just gonna combine. Okay, I'm just gonna combine the data from the multiple sources. So we're having time variant. Time variant is nothing but historical data is kept in a data warehouse. So I told you that each and every day some data is going to generate. So I told you that if my company started in the year 2000, so now we are having in the year 2022. Okay, from when my company has started till now. So I can tell this is my historical data or the previous data. So I'm storing 22 years of data in my data warehouse. Okay, historical data is kept in a data warehouse. Okay, that is said to be a historical data. Now we are having the non-volatile. Non-volatile is nothing but older data will not get deleted if we add new data. So from 2000 to 2022, each and every year there will be some people will be joining to the company and some people will be leaving the company, right? So if a new people is adding to the company in that particular year, I just want to create a separate table, separate column for the new joinees. Okay, it should not affect the older one. Okay, I'll be having these things whenever my new data is arriving. It's not gonna delete my older one. I just want to keep this older one and also the new data safely in my data warehouse. That is said to be a non-volatile. Older data will not get deleted if we add new data. So the components of data warehouse. What are the things that I'm having here? I'm having the central database, data integration, metadata, and the access tools. These are the components that I'm having for the data warehouse. So basically, what is central database? A database serves as the foundation of your data warehouse. It means in a data warehouse, you will be having one location, right? That is said to be a central database. Whatever the data we are having, that we are going to store it in a central database. The central database is nothing but you can call it as also the data mart. The thing that you are storing inside the data warehouse. So you'll be having the data warehouse like this. The something inside the data warehouse. Okay. Whatever the data that we are storing in this node, this is said to be a central database, or also you can tell it as a data mart. Data mart is nothing but the small stores. The next we are having is data integration. So what is data integration again? So data is pulled from source system and modified. So modified is nothing but here we are changing. So the same thing we are studying from the first slide, right? Now you have to tell me guys, what is data integration here? Because from the first slide, we are just gonna using the term called data integration. Yes, you're right. The combining. So we just combining like what are the data we're having in a different source. We are just extracting that source and we are just doing the modification. Modification is nothing but, so what are the data that I'm pulling out from the different sources, I'm just gonna modify it into one particular format, and then that data is I'm storing in the data warehouse. That is said to be a data integration here. Metadata, I can call it as a information about the data. So here, if I want to take an example for the metadata, let me take an example. Let's say everyone will be having the smartphone right with you. So you'll be having the gallery. If I consider my gallery as a metadata, let's say we'll be having a more than 10K pics right in my cell phone. So let's say in that if I want to select any random pic, then I'll be having an option called details. Okay, in my cell phone, I'll be having a n number of data. Let's say I have a picture called more than 5K. Okay, if I'm having a more than 5K, no, then in that 5K pictures, I'm just gonna select one random picture. I just wanted to know the details. Okay, if I want to know the details of that particular picture, if I go with the details, then I can find there all the information like on which date I have taken this picture, the place, time, everything it is gonna mention there. That is said to be a metadata, the information about the data. Okay, so what is access tools? Access tools is nothing but it allow users to interact with data in your data warehouse. Example, OLAP tools. So what are the OLAP tools I'm having? The Power BI, SQL, MSBI, these are the OLAP tools. I will just explain you what is OLAP in the last slide. So till then, you just understand. This kind of tools will help me to interact with the data in your data warehouse. So who is gonna interact in the data warehouse? Let's say in my company, not everyone can interact with the data warehouse, right? Only that the one who is authorized for that particular thing only is gonna interact with the data in the data warehouse. No other people are allowed in the server room. If anything is happens in the data warehouse, then who is the responsibility over there? Not one particular person, right? If anything is happen over there, only that particular person is responsible for that. So no other people have rights to enter into the server room. So with the help of some of the OLAP tools, that person is going to interact with the data in the data warehouse. The next slide we're having is applications of data warehouse. So you can see we are going to use this application. So we are using the data warehouse in the banking, So we are using the data warehouse in the finance, education sector, healthcare, manufacturing, retailing, insurance, services. Okay, these are the different. This is just a simple application that they have taken. You can relate to many things. So like wherever the data is storing, that you can go it. So let's say if I'm considering my banking. So for the data warehousing, my banking is a very good example, right? Each and every day, so there will be adding a new customer, they'll be creating their account in the bank. Let's say it can be any bank. So each and every day there are in a number of people, they'll be creating the account, and also they will be doing the transactions. Okay, they'll be crediting the amount or they'll be debiting the amount, and also they have taken the loans. Let's say loans like they have taken their education loan, the vehicle loan, some insurance. These are the transaction is happening in the bank. Okay, that data. So whatever the data that we are having, that thing is stored in my data warehouse. Data warehouse is centralized, data mart is decentralized. As data mart can be deployed different database, but warehouse resides in one location with all historical data. Is So database can be anything, but data warehouse it is nothing but will be having a one particular location, right? In that location we'll be having all the historical data over there. So in the banking, each and every day. So let's say I hope so everyone will be having the Google Pay or the Phone Pay, right? So each and every day they'll be doing some transaction. Okay, each and every day they'll be doing a transaction over there. So that transaction will be stored in your data warehouse. So each and every data, because for the banking sector there will be a n number of transactions is happening in a single day. So all those data they have to store in that particular thing, right? Therefore they will go with the using the data warehouse where they will be storing all the data. Let's say if I want to consider the example for the education sector, how it's gonna work here. So let's say you have taken a exam the SSLC exam in the year 2016 or 2015, something like that. Now we are in 2022. So if you want to get the SLC results or the second PUC result, so how we are going to get the data? You'll be having the ID number, right? So with the help of ID number, we can see our result whenever we want. Let's say if that result is stored for a longer year also, it won't be changed. So if you are seeing the result in the 2015 or 16, the same result will be shown in the year or 2022 also, right? It is a static. The whatever the things that is going to store it in a data warehouse, that is be a static. There is no any modification is gonna happen in the data warehouse. Modification means we can update the things in the data warehouse, but whatever the previous data that I'll be having in my data warehouse, that is not gonna change. They'll be having a one warehouse. Okay, there only they will be storing a different kind of things. So I told you, right, I'll be having a different data marts. If I want to store one particular thing, that entire thing will be stored in a one particular mart. So as the same way, we'll be having a n number of data with a different field. Okay, that different field is going to store it in a different data marts in one particular data warehouse itself. Okay. Application of the data warehouse in the education sector, same way you can relate for each and everything. Okay, in the banking thing, because banking plays a very important role in the data warehousing, like because each and every day we are doing n number of transactions, the entire data should be stored. So whenever you check for the whenever you're going to check the scan for the passbook, then they will show like on which date it has the debited, on which day your amount has been credited, each and everything it will be showing there. So in the education sector, or you can see your result whenever you want. If you are having that particular ID, you can view your results whenever you want. So that is gonna be constant. It is not gonna change. It's not a varying. Okay, that is constant over there. The same way you can relate this healthcare, like in the hospitals. So if they want to add the like patients database, okay, they're going to add this in the data warehousing in the hospitals. Yes, in the hospitals also they will be having their own data, right? They will be having their own data. They will be storing this data somewhere. If you go with the big hospitals, like you can go with the Manipal, Apollo. So in that kind of hospitals, they have to store their patient's details. So when he has joined, what disease is having. So each and everything they have to store it. Even they will be maintaining the data warehouse because they have to store this kind of data. So and also what and all we can do in the data warehouse. So I'll be having a different data with the help of ETL process. I'm just gonna convert that entire data into one particular format. So and also I can have the historical data. So if I want to know anything about the previous year data, then that is stored in my data warehousing. And if I want to update any new data, that is also possible. It is not going to affect my old data. So each and every day the data will be generated. I'm just going to combine those two and I'm just putting in a data warehouse. It's not affecting the older version. Yes, analyzation is done in the data warehouse. So we can analyze the things very easily with the help of the visualization. Because in the starting, it will be in different forms of data. But with the help of ETL process, we are just converting that entire thing in a one particular format and then we'll start analyzing the things, right? The visualization part will be done.
Just a quick info, guys. If you want to make a career in data engineering, then Intellipaat provides an advanced certification in data engineering associated with MIT. This course is designed to upskill and land your dream job.